Have you ever stood at the edge of a dark forest, unsure whether to venture in or turn back? That's exactly how investigators felt the morning they discovered a single blood-stained shoe on the steps of an old house in Maplewood, a house rumored to be the meeting place of a secret cult. I'm glad you're here. Listen closely. On a crisp October morning, 21-year-old Lily Meadows vanished without a trace. Her car was found abandoned on an empty road, hazard lights still flashing, front door wide open, and a box of personal letters scattered across the passenger seat. No sign of struggle at first glance, yet something felt terribly off. Suspicion grew quickly. Some whispered that Lily was desperate to escape her controlling parents. Others believed she was in over her head with the wrong crowd. But one rumor rose above the rest. Whispers of a hidden group operating under the cover of night, calling themselves the White Moon Circle. People in town used hushed tones when mentioning that name. They'd exchange wary glances, then casually change the subject, as if saying too much might summon dark attention. So why were the letters in her car arranged in a strange circular pattern? And why was there a single candle stub, half melted, resting on top of them? No one claimed to have any knowledge of cult activities. The authorities, however, couldn't ignore the bizarre coincidences. Lily's parents, deeply religious and known to be strict, insisted their daughter was taken by sinister forces. Her mother, eyes swollen from days of crying, said in a trembling voice, They have her now. I just know it. The investigating officer, Detective Marcus Hayes, was known for his keen intuition. He'd solved more missing person cases than anyone else in the region, but something about Lily's disappearance rattled him. He visited Lily's home first, an aging two-story with creaking floorboards. Her bedroom was a time capsule of normal college life. Textbooks, photos of friends, clothes scattered on the floor. Only one detail stuck out, a small, hand-drawn symbol pinned to her corkboard, a half-moon, slashed by a single diagonal line. Beneath it, Lily had scribbled the words, "I can't hide forever." Marcus gently plucked that note from the board, his mind racing. Why would Lily be hiding? And from whom? As he started tracing Lily's final steps, a neighbor claimed to have witnessed a dark sedan outside Lily's house late at night. The driver, apparently wearing some kind of hood, watched the windows for almost an hour. The neighbor had no proof of anything illegal, so they never reported it. Yet that hooded silhouette planted another seed of suspicion. Meanwhile, word spread around Maplewood faster than the autumn leaves hit the ground. Locals formed search parties combing the nearby woods, checking abandoned shacks and tapping on locked barn doors. Some insisted on looking near the old Maplewood Chapel, a dilapidated building rumored to be a hotspot for occult gatherings. Although these hunts turned up nothing, more rumors sprang to life. Lily's father clung desperately to a single theory. I know they took her. That circle's been skulking around for years. They're behind this. He slammed his hand on the table during an impromptu town hall meeting, voice cracking with anger. She must have seen something she shouldn't have, some evil ritual, and now they're making sure she never speaks again. At first it felt like paranoia, but that single candle stub, it matched a brand of ceremonial candles sold in one shop, an esoteric bookstore on the far side of town called Moonlit Pages. The shop owner, Fiona Knight, was a reclusive woman with an odd streak. Shelves of rare texts and dusty spellbooks lined the walls, as swirling incense thickened the air. Rumor had it that Fiona once belonged to a secret society, though no one had the courage to ask her outright. When Marcus arrived, he spoke calmly, trying to keep his voice steady. I'm looking into the disappearance of Lily Meadows, he began. and I need to ask about these candles." He placed the stub in a small evidence bag on her counter. Fiona took a slow breath before answering. "I do sell them, yes. They're for ceremonial use mostly, but a lot of folks buy them just for the novelty." She paused, her eyes flicking to the bag. "Are you suggesting she was involved in something ritualistic?" Marcus eyed her carefully. "Number, but I'm not ruling anything out. Did Lily ever come by your shop?" Fiona nodded, her gaze shifting. "She came in a few weeks ago, late afternoon. Said she was curious about certain local legends. She asked about the White Moon Circle. I told her I don't involve myself with rumors. That was the last time I saw her." Marcus believed Fiona was holding something back, but without proof. His hands were tied. Meanwhile, Lily's friends started stepping forward. A college classmate mentioned Lily had been meeting with a new group off campus, though it wasn't labeled a cult exactly. Another remembered Lily complaining about strange gatherings in the woods. Texts from Lily's phone records hinted at fear. One read, "Don't come looking for me if I disappear. They're everywhere." The deeper Marcus dug, the more certain he became that Maplewood's underbelly was not as quiet as it seemed. Rumors circulated of midnight bonfires near the abandoned chapel, hooded figures chanting in tongues, sightings of robed individuals near the old cemetery, and Lily's face was plastered on every lamppost with the word missing in bold letters. Days passed. Then came the first real break in the investigation. A hiker discovered footprints leading to a secluded clearing, a circle of smoothed stones, each with that same half-moon and slash symbol carved into it. Sticky residue on the stones suggested candles had recently burned there. In the center of that circle, a single gold necklace. It belonged to Lily Meadows. That was enough for Lily's parents to unleash a barrage of accusations. They started naming local residents they believed to be part of the White Moon Circle. Tensions soared, dividing the town. People accused each other of secret meetings and veiled threats. Gossip took on a life of its own, overshadowing the fact that Lily was still gone. Then just when folks thought they'd heard everything, a text message pinged Lily's mother's phone. It read, "Stop your search. She is where she belongs. Let the white moon guide you." The phone number was untraceable. Another dead end. Marcus tried to keep a level head, but he felt the pressure mounting. Every day the case gained more scrutiny from nearby counties. Everyone wanted answers, and none were forthcoming. One autumn evening, under a hazy moon, an unexpected visitor came to the Meadows household. Dressed in casual clothes, but with an unsettling calm, he knocked gently. "I'm here to help," he said. "I know about the White Moon Circle. I was one of them years ago." Introduced as Caleb Barnes, he claimed the group approached vulnerable individuals, offering them enlightenment and spiritual guidance. But in reality, he suggested, they preyed on insecurities and cut people off from their families. Lily's mother, tears welling up, said in a hushed tone, "Is she alive?" Caleb closed his eyes, seeming tormented. "They don't kill people, but they can break them, mentally, spiritually. If Lily's with them, she might not be the same girl anymore." Naturally, Marcus wanted to interview Caleb. The man seemed cooperative, up to a point. He described gatherings where new members pledged loyalty under moonlit skies, surrendering their personal items into a ceremonial fire. When asked for proof, Caleb was vague. He insisted that any documents or pictures were destroyed to prevent a trail. Marcus pressed him. "If you left that group, why come forward now?" Caleb's voice caught in his throat. I can't let them ruin another life. And seeing Lily's face on those posters, it brought back memories I wish I could forget. Were his intentions truly noble, or was he manipulating the case? Maplewood residents couldn't decide. Some believed him to be a courageous whistleblower. Others said he was an opportunist, using Lily's disappearance for attention. Either way, the seeds of suspicion grew. One by one, the supposed members of this White Moon Circle were either discredited or had alibis for the night Lily vanished. A high school teacher, a local librarian, even a friendly barista at the coffee shop downtown. Each time, the rumor mill pointed to a new suspect, only to have that lead crumble under scrutiny. But the cryptic text messages continued, fueling the hysteria. Late one night, Marcus got an urgent call from a watchman at the old Maplewood Chapel. "You better come quick," the voice trembled, strange chanting, and I'm sure I saw a woman matching Lily's description slip inside. Marcus raced over, adrenaline spiking. The chapel door was slightly ajar, the faint echo of whispered voices drifting through the halls. His flashlight cut through the dust motes. Step by cautious step, he moved deeper inside, following the murmur of voices. "Lily?" he called out quietly. No response. He edged around a corner, heart pounding, expecting to find a hooded congregation. Instead, he found rows of broken pews and scattered candles. The flicker of a single flame illuminated a robed figure hunched by the altar, chanting softly. Marcus aimed his flashlight. "Don't move." The figure stood, then bolted toward a hidden door. Marcus chased, but in the confusion he tripped over a loose floorboard. By the time he scrambled to his feet, the figure had vanished into the night. Though his search continued, all he found was a piece of cloth from the robe, torn and left behind on a pew. There was no sign of Lily. In a frenzy, investigators swarmed the chapel the next day, combing through every nook. The floorboards creaked ominously, revealing a trapdoor that led to a small cellar. Inside, they found boxes of supplies, candles, robes, old manuscripts scrawled with archaic symbols. But no mention of Lily or anything identifying. Just cryptic references to her birth and the White Moon's chosen path. Marcus felt a chill run through him. If this cult existed, it was careful, organized, and always one step ahead. The entire town was on edge. Some people started boarding up their windows at night. Others walked in groups, refusing to venture out alone after dark. The local diner was abuzz with talk of conspiracies. Was the mayor involved? The sheriff? Was Maplewood itself built upon cursed land? Tinfoil hat theories aside, the tension was real. A few more days passed in uneasy silence, until Lily's best friend Tara received an envelope in her mailbox. Inside was a single Polaroid photo of Lily, standing before a thick cluster of trees. She looked frightened, eyes wide with terror. Scrawled on the back were the words, "You'll never understand our purpose." Tara rushed to Marcus, tears streaming down her cheeks. "She's alive, you see. She's alive. But why would they send this to me?" Marcus had no immediate answers. The photo was taken recently. Lily was wearing the same jacket she'd worn the day she went missing. This was a taunt, or perhaps a warning. But from whom? Desperate, the Meadows family started offering a substantial reward for any information leading to Lily. This only drove more people to come forward with bizarre leads. Sightings of Lily in a black gown near the river, a midnight bonfire in the farmland behind the old orchard, shadowy processions crossing the covered bridge. Most were dismissed as attention-seeking or plain fantasy. Still, each rumor and tip had to be examined, draining the police force's resources. Meanwhile, the townsfolk turned even more paranoid. Neighbors accused each other of belonging to the White Moon Circle, A local hardware store reported a run on security cameras and outdoor lighting. Marcus, unable to shake the feeling that they were missing a key piece, revisited the evidence. The candle stub, the abandoned car, the footprints, the circle of stones, the cryptic text messages. One detail surfaced: Lily's notes from her classes. She'd written an essay on fringe religions and social control. A final line in that essay read, "The greatest threat is the one that looks benign until it's too late." Could it be a coincidence? Or did Lily's research lead her to the White Moon Circle, right into the jaws of danger? Growing desperation led Marcus to confront Fiona Knight again at Moonlit Pages. This time her demeanor was cooler. "Detective, I already told you everything I know." But as Marcus pressed her about the group's existence, she admitted to hearing rumors of clandestine rituals for spiritual purification. She refused to name names, claiming fear for her safety, yet she hinted that the cult had powerful connections, enough to vanish without a trace when threatened. Maplewood now felt like a town under siege by an invisible force. Friends turned into suspicious strangers overnight. The White Moon Circle, if real, was orchestrating a campaign of fear, making a public spectacle of Lily's disappearance, while carefully concealing every clue that could crack the case. Late one afternoon, Lily's father marched into the police station with fresh hope. He'd found Lily's journal hidden under a loose floorboard in her bedroom. The last entry read, "I'm not sure I can stay quiet anymore. Tonight I confront them with proof. If something happens to me, it's on them." That was dated the very day she vanished. What proof did she have? And against whom? The question gnawed at Marcus's mind. Then, just as the community braced for another wave of panic, an unexpected calm settled. The cryptic text stopped. The sightings tapered off. It was as though the very soul of Maplewood held its breath. Weeks passed, with only silence in Lily's wake. The town began to assume the worst. People replaced missing flyers with "in loving memory" ribbons, preparing for tragedy. But Marcus refused to label it a cold case. Something still gnawed at him, that pang in his gut telling him Lily was out there. He read the journal entry again and again, noticing how Lily underlined the word "them" 3 times. Was she planning a meeting or a confrontation with a group she had incriminating evidence against? And that's when a late-night phone call shattered the uneasy calm. A static-filled line crackled. I've seen her. Lily. She's not alone." The caller wouldn't give a name, but provided a location, an old orchard on the outskirts of Maplewood. Marcus rallied a team to investigate. They found trampled grass, melted candle wax near a large oak tree, and footprints, a lot of them. Claw marks on the tree trunk suggested a brief struggle. A small piece of fabric matching Lily's jacket was discovered snagged on a broken branch. And scrawled in the dirt was that half moon slashed by a diagonal line. Had Lily been there against her will, or was she a willing participant in some bizarre ritual? At this point, the rumor mill overflowed with theories. Maybe Lily joined the cult to escape her strict home life. Maybe the cult abducted her after she threatened to expose them. Maybe the White Moon Circle was a cover name for something far more sinister. A group that harnessed fear to control an entire community. Everyone had a guess, but no one had the truth. And so the case remains unsettlingly open. Despite the best efforts of Detective Marcus Hayes, the search for Lily Meadows continues. Some say she's hidden in a remote compound, brainwashed by cult leaders. Others believe she found a new identity out of state, leaving all the chaos behind. A handful maintain that she met with foul play on that eerie orchard night. Yet one final clue emerged just days ago. Lily's locket, discovered by a fisherman near the creek that runs through the orchard. How it ended up there is anyone's guess, but the possible connection to the White Moon Circle can't be ignored. Did she break free and discard it as a signal, or was it dropped during a frantic struggle? Ultimately, the most haunting element of Lily's disappearance is the unrelenting sense that Maplewood will never be the same. Fear and suspicion hang like a thick fog, seeping into every corner of daily life. The White Moon Circle remains an ominous shadow, possibly disbanded, or maybe operating quietly, biding its time. Lily's journal, her texts, and the whispered rumors all point to a tale of secrets, too dark to be spoken aloud. Was Lily truly onto something so dangerous that it forced her into hiding, or worse? And if the White Moon Circle did claim her, how far does their influence reach? Everyone in Maplewood has a theory, but no one can say for sure. Even those who claim to have escaped the group refuse to speak openly, as though an invisible force watches their every move. So where is Lily Meadows? And what truly happened to her? The question lingers like a half-forgotten nightmare, waiting to resurface with every new moon. Let's just hope that someday the truth emerges, if the truth can even be recognized after all these layers of secrecy. Thank you for listening. What do you think happened to Lily? Is she out there, hidden away by a shadowy group? Or did she orchestrate her own disappearance? Let me know what your theories are.